Hello Internet, I'm Olivier Roubieu and I'm a mural artist. Today I'm going to be showing you how to use filler because I've realized I've never showed you guys on the channel how to use filler, and it's something I use all the time in my murals. Also, welcome to the new shop. Look, it looks kind of cool. I've made some metal grey kind of thing. Did a little sample, so all of this is going to look a lot cooler for the next video. Anyway, so let me just start by talking about the different types of filler that you have. So you've got wall filler that you mix with water to work. You've got ready-made fillers, different brands. They come in a tube and you basically squeeze a little bit out and you get to work. I'll show you that in a minute. They're kind of convenient for small repairs if you had a picture up and there's a small hole instead of having to mix a full bag or something. And then you've got hard filler. This is wood filler, but you can also have metal filler, multi-purpose filler. And the way they work is you mix them with a little sachet of hardener. So even though in a lot of cases these manufacturers say that you can use that on wood, you can't, because over time it sort of cracks and it's not so good. Behind you I've got my wooden wall for all the videos I'm about to do about different effects and stuff. So bear with me, I will be using this on wood, but it's, you know, I'm just showing you the technique. It doesn't really matter because this wall is going to get a ton of paint over time, so it doesn't matter. Alright, so also let me talk about the knives quickly. So you've got different types of knives. You have blades. They're really cheap. A pack like this will cost you about £3-4. And you've got a few different sizes. And these blades are very, very good. I didn't like them at first, but I've come around and I think they're really cool. You've got your typical filling knives, different sizes, and those are much more comfortable, more durable. These will last you for years. These will you'll have to buy often. And you also have larger ones for bigger areas, filling seams in between plasterboards, and these will be pretty cool. This one is titanium because I thought it'd be fancy. It's kind of light, a bit pointless, but whatever. And also I just want to show a difference. This is what you want. This is a filling knife. It's sort of flexible. You have some that are very flexible. That's down to what you like. This is a scraper. The blade is very hard. You don't want to use a scraper. So, and these are clementines because they're really good for your body. So you always want two knives. This is the way you work. If you only have one knife, it doesn't work. Because you want to put, and you want this kind of size. This is kind of ideal. This is good for all around small jobs or whatever, but it's a bit fiddly to use otherwise. This is better. So one is going to hold your filler, your mud, and the other one you're going to use to actually apply the filler to the wall or whatever you're doing. So when it comes to this, just squeeze a bit, you sort of make a lump. And then you press it down. You make a ball out of it. It's the same for each of them. You always want to have a ball in the middle, at the front of the blade, the one that's holding it. And then you can take some out, apply it, and then whatever's left, you clean your knife, blah, blah, blah. And then you always go back to having a ball in the middle. This is how you work clean. You don't want any mud here or filler. You don't want any on both sides of the blade. You just want it on one side. A really cool, and I'm going to show you in a sec how to apply it. A really cool way to mix it, I found, if you're in the UK, Leyland sell buckets of just empty buckets, like £3-4, and they're like this. They've got a straight edge, so you can access easily. Also, if you get, that's a 2.5 litre. If you get a 10 litre, those buckets are really cool because they're big, nice and easy to put the filler in and mix them. You don't want to get something like this because the corners are rounded and your knife doesn't quite get in the corner, so you can't get all of it, and then it dries, and you don't want that. Whenever you've got chips that dry in there, when you're trying to apply the filler, you'll have loads of lines through your filler and it'll drive you crazy. So you want to avoid this, and you want to have something with square corners so you can reach into it. This is not very popular in the UK. This is more US or Australia probably kind of thing. I bought it because I thought I'd try. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you're supposed to just hold it in there or mix it in there, but I don't know. It doesn't matter. You can also use a board to mix it on. Whenever you mix on the board, it works great for this type of filler, but for this type of filler, I just find it goes all over the place. It's not ideal. Okay, so as far as the wall filler, you want to put some filler in your bucket, in your tray, and whatever, and you're gonna add the water. And when you add water, you want to add just a little bit at a time, because you want to keep the thing kind of basically like if you were doing a cake. Once it's too wet and you get lumps, you won't be able to get the lumps out. Your only options are to either add filler, or if you run out of filler, you've got to let it air dry a bit and then hope that you can sort of mix it, but it doesn't really work so well. Yeah, this type of, I'm sure this is only to hold it, it's not to mix it, but that's all I got in the shop, so bear with me. But the principle is the same. You basically want to crunch all of this stuff, a bit like, as I said, like you were doing a cake. Because all these lumps, because it's thick, I can still crush them. Actually, I'm going to use the board. Cool. So now I'm just going to get rid of all those lumps. I'll take the bigger knife, clean this. Just to mix it thoroughly. And with this stuff you got time. You know, this will dry in, they say 5 to 10 minutes, but you got much longer working time. So I just want to show you something. You see, these things, you don't want that. That's like a bit of dry filler. This is the second time I record this video because it was too long. But as I did, you see some of these, whenever you see streaks, that means you got dry filler in there. So you want to get rid of that. Or ideally, you don't want to have it in the first place. But it's not that much and it won't stop me from working, so that will be fine. Okay. I'm going to put all of this on the bigger knife. You see that? All these dry spots, I want to get rid of this because otherwise that's trouble. Whenever you get a new filling knife, you have to mark where the bow is. There's always a bow. The blade appears as if it's straight, but really it's curved like this. So it allows you to say I don't know how to show it on camera, but exaggerating, your blade would be like this, basically. And you want this side, where it's rounded, to be the one that you use when you're working. Because otherwise you got the two corners that are going to leave marks everywhere. You want this, the majority of this, to be the one that's in contact. And those ones are barely touching when you're using it. So whenever I get a brand new knife, I always put a cross on the side that it is. And the way you do it is you look, try and clean the blade, and you have to, it's quite subtle. It's like maybe a third of a mil, like it's really, really small, but you'll see a slight bow. And you make a mark where the bow is. And that's, if you're struggling with filler, in most cases, it's because you haven't realized and you're using the side, the wrong side, and then the two edges are sort of creating, like, you know, two lines on the side, and that's bothering you. Okay, so now that we're ready, you got to hold the knife in a proper way. You want to hold the knife with your thumb on this side and 4 fingers on this side. Or you could have your thumb also on this side, depending on the application for what you're doing or where you're reaching and stuff. Having your fingers at the back allows you a lot of control on the blade. You can apply pressure. If you just hold it like this, like a brush or a hammer or whatever, you don't have a lot of control and it doesn't allow you a clean finish. Those big knives are not necessary. Something like that, if you have 2 of those, that's fine. Ideally, you'd want something like this and something probably about here, something like in between these two. And that for me it works really well. I just thought I'd get fancy with this. Anyway, so when you grab it, you want to take a chunk. It's hard to show on camera, but you want to take a chunk and then turn the blade so then the mud or the filler doesn't fall onto the floor. Once you start getting little chips on your filler, I don't really want to do this because I did it on a previous demonstration and it was annoying, but I will show you anyway. I'm gonna grab a bit of sawdust, mix it with the filler. You don't want to do that. And then when you apply the filler, you get these streaks, and that's kind of annoying. So I'm going to take this off, make sure my blade is clean. Cool, and now we're going to apply it. So I'm just going to grab a bit and apply it. So as I said, this is wall filler. You don't want to apply this to wood, but this is a demo, so bear with me. And my walls, they're kind of, not suitable. So what you want to do is you want to apply some to the seams or the holes or the screws or whatever. And what I like to do is, don't get angry about the tape. I'll talk about the tape in a second, for those of you that know how to do this. What I like to do when I apply filler is apply not enough, let it dry, apply some more, and if needed, have a third pass, but most of the time 2 is enough. What I used to do before is apply more than I needed, then sand and maybe do some more, whatever. You got dust everywhere, you gotta breathe it, it's not ideal. I prefer to do it this way. I find it's cleaner, it's better. So, okay, about the tape. I don't have a roll of tape because I don't need it, so I didn't buy one. But this is masking tape. You don't want to use masking tape, but this is again for a demo. The comments are going to be brilliant on this. So what you do is you apply your tape. What it is just a band of paper. You see, this one is sticky. The one you would get for this is special. It's either like a mesh thing or it looks like a paper with no glue on it. And you apply it. You would hold it and then pull it down. Pull it up. And once it's done, grab some more. And what you want to do is always, you see I've got bits of mud everywhere. Grab that, make sure all the sides of the knives are clean and the bowl is in the middle. And then you can apply some, and if you got a bigger knife, obviously, see that, simpler. It's so much harder to do this when you're filming yourself with a small angle as opposed to when you're doing it when you're working. But anyway, so that's what you want to do. And for the small screw holes or whatever, you just do bits like that, and then you grab it, you take it off. So the idea is if your wall is here, that's 45. When you apply the mud, so you apply the mud whichever way, and then you scoop off the excess. When you scoop off the excess, if you have an angle that's about this, you're not going to scoop off enough, and it's going to be like all wavy, it won't be clean. If your angle is like this, you're going to scrape pretty much everything, and it's going to be too much. You want your angle to be about this, what is this, 30, 35, something? You want this kind of angle where you're not going to scrape everything off, but you're going to remove all the excess. You just got to feel it. And even if there is a magic angle, it's pointless because you're not going to be there measuring it. So you got to feel whatever feels right. And as far as the different filler, whether it's wood filler or ready-made filler or this filler, the technique is the same. You apply some and you scrape off the excess. And as I said, I like to have too little and then let it dry and add some more. So this way I don't have to sand, the job is a lot cleaner. The problem is with sanding your filler is paint and filler and everything, you see on products, it always says make sure it's dust free and there's no grease or whatever. When you sand, if there's any dust left and you're painting, it's not a problem, especially with water-based paint, not a problem. But if you apply filler onto the dust, you know, that you sanded, it's just going to roll up and it's not going to work. So that's kind of a pain. So you want to make sure, first of all, try to not sand. And if you're going to sand, you want to take a damp cloth and just go lightly over everything that you've sanded. This will allow you, the new filler to stick properly to what you've done. Okay, and last but definitely least, this is wood filler. So this one is very smelly, and I'm going to open it and get. So it's cool when you get those blades, because that little one fits in there kind of nice, but it normally comes with a small plastic one. Anyway, so you want to grab some. They say the ratio is a golf ball to a pea. Garden pea size, and that's pretty cool. If you want it to get even harder, you put more of this and it'll also dry quicker. I'm gonna have to move the camera quickly. This gives you a working time of about 3 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes on a good day, and it also depends what temperature you've got. At the moment it's the winter in the UK, it's very damp, so it's a bit longer. It's probably about 6 minutes maximum. Alright, so I'm going to apply some, maybe a bit more, and now the clock is ticking. So what I do is I sort of put it, let me make sure I'm in the shot, there you go. So I sort of grab some, then I spread it again. This is okay. I mean, it's a white hardener and a white filler. These come in brown and all sorts of different colors. So the point of this is that it remains white for when you're doing repairs on things that are painted or whatever. But I like the ones that are pink. Some of these come in pink and you can really see your mix. As I filmed this already, I'm running out of spaces on the wall to fill, but we're gonna find something. But it's the same principle. So you grab some, apply it. It's a lovely finish. It's a different consistency. It's not the same as wall filler. I find it applies really well. But when you're using this stuff, say if you're doing a big job or whatever, wear a mask. I'm only doing a small demo here, which is fine, and I'll open the window. But you really want to work quickly, and you see I'm sort of really applying a lot of weight, a lot of pressure to get a nice finish. And this is, to me, that is pretty good. I might do a very light sand and then that'll be it. Yep. So on this, that'd be enough. If it was, I mean, the panel is pretty good already. If it was pretty bad, what I'd do is I'd get it as good as I can, but without any ridges, anything sticking out, and then let it dry. As I said, like 3-5 minutes, and then but when you apply again, wait about 10 minutes, and then do another pass, and that hopefully is okay. And if not, do another pass. I've done sculptures. I've done a big gun, and I applied. I bought buckets of this, and I applied maybe like 10 coats or something. What's interesting is it gets really warm. It's a chemical reaction, but whatever. Off topic. What I like to do with this is take the ridges off. So it's already drying. It's already. I don't even know if I can use this. I'll try. Yeah, borderline. It's starting to crumble. That's how you know. So this stuff you really have. Yeah, that's too late. you really have a small window. So don't mix too much at a time, just mix a little bit, use it, mix some more. And what I like to do, I'll do it now, but it's not dry, but just so the video doesn't take forever, is lightly do that. I know I'm making the thing look bad, I don't know if it picks up on the camera, but when you've got ridges, so yeah, now it's, if I try and work it because it's already drying, it's not gonna work. But when you've got ridges, you can knock them out as it's sort of starting to dry, and that's the same for wall filler. So you know, that's a way to save time on sanding as well. So that's it. That's the first video done in my brand new shop, and I hope this was useful to you. I hope the video was not too long, but I really wanted to cover all the bases of filler, the different types of filler that you're going to use. I know 4 minutes videos are better, but that would have meant I'm not really giving you all you need. So hopefully this was useful, and if you want to check out any more videos, I will be back next Monday. Thanks a lot for watching. See you guys later.